Please welcome to the stage Sam Nestor, Artist in Residence of NYU Abu Dhabi.
Hello, friends of the future. My name is indeed Sam Nestor, and I am a musician. I'm a trumpet player, composer, and sound artist. And you might be wondering what I'm doing here talking about the future. Well, one of the themes for... Oh, that's me playing some trumpet. I don't think it's supposed to be playing. One of the themes at Expanse is this idea of ultimate connection. And I'd like to make the comment that I think for a healthy future, that ultimate connection is going beyond the idea of connecting human to human, but reassessing our connection with the rest of the world and non-human agents alongside interdisciplinary work. A lot of my work relies on, looks at the natural world, and it looks at natural systems and the creation of artistic work and commentary on our human relationship to the state of nature as it is now. And in recent years, I've had the pleasure of connecting interdisciplinary work with scientists and also policymakers. For the last few years, I've been working with scientists from the European Commission Joint Research Centre and also policy officers from the Directorate General for Environment, the European Commission Director General for Environment. And we're looking at the nexus of art, science, and policy. One such project, which is playing behind me here, called Anthos, was made in collaboration with scientists whose research looks at farmland biodiversity, pollinators, and environmental systems modeling. And together, we created this interactive, immersive installation that projects a network of plants and pollinators and research and data in Europe regarding the climate crisis. It is interactive in the sense that audience members, when they enter the space, there are environmental sensors that are reading changes and fluctuations in environmental parameters, things like carbon, CO2 emissions, heat, and humidity. And as the more audiences attend this space, the more the space gets affected, both in sound and in the projection, so we can see how the model changes over time with fluctuations in things that are, of course, part of the climate crisis. And this was made at a time when the European Commission was looking to change policy on pollinators and conservation and allowing European audiences to connect more deeply to their relationship, not only to the natural world, but to a big policy that was coming up in the Commission. In addition to my work in Europe, I've actually been based here as the disembodied voice mentioned when I came on stage as the artist in residence at New York University, Abu Dhabi. I've been the inaugural artist in residence at the Center for Genomics and Systems Biology here at NYU Abu Dhabi, working with scientists whose research looks at environmental adaptation and sustainability. One such project is actually available, a sample of it is available for you to see here. It's in fact just outside the Imaginarium stage. This is giving you a sense of which one it is. It's that big LED screen that's in a column there. And alongside evolutionary biologist Stefan Boissinot and bioinformatician Giuseppe Antonio Saldi, we are looking at ways of converting genomes into sound, taking genomic data and converting it into musical parameters. So for this project, we took data from the UCSC genome browser and converted that data on transposable elements into MIDI messages, so that what will happen is we create a program, and this program reads that data, reads our genetic code in this case. Outside is the human genome, and it's playing the information on these repetitive elements in our genome. The goal for the project was to think about what critical information we could store in sound, what we could understand in musical patterns, and a way of experiencing biological data in new ways. And I will leave you with one additional project that's happening here that's looking at the climate crisis and our relationship to the natural world. In addition to Transposon, this digital work that you can go and have a listen to the human genome and see it being represented in a new visualization, I've been working with a celebrated marine biologist, Dr. John Burt, and together we created the very first interdisciplinary soundscape study of coral reefs here in the Arabian Gulf. So right now, as we're speaking, there are hydrophones, underwater microphones, connected to data stations throughout reefs in the Gulf, and they're recording the otherwise hidden acoustic environment. They're essentially recording the sounds of the coral reefs. And what we hear biodiversity. We hear what's living on those reefs and how that changes. We're looking at diurnal patterns, what's there during the day and the night, in seasons, and ideally across years. And part of this research is contributing to John Burt's look at biodiversity and reef health, and the idea of how acoustics can play a part in understanding how those things work and exist. And from the artistic side of things, I've been working with scientists and engineers at the university to collect high-density polyethylene ocean plastic from the Gulf and reconstitute that plastic into discs that will play these soundscapes of coral reefs on turntables. So outside of the scientific study, the artistic goal is to make commentary on our contribution to this environment. It is indeed the sound of the ocean through the plastic that is choking it. The degraded audio that comes from this material, because it's been reconstituted, is indeed part of that commentary. It really is the sound of the reef struggling through the material that we're dumping in there. So Expanse, which is this incredible event that looks to the future, for me, when I think about this idea of ultimate connection, I think of the two things that are becoming increasingly more important to me and to many of us, and that's one, interdisciplinary work, the idea that for a future with complex problems or a future that looks at complex questions, many brains and many ideas need to come together. And the other thing I think about, which I'll leave you with, is the idea that for ultimate connection, when we talk about technology, I think we need to consider not just connectivity between humans, but also our reconnection, at least with the natural world, and how we're going to leave it for the future. Thank you so much.